Hello all, and welcome. I must admit this is something that I never saw myself really doing. There was a time where I was just a server, waitress at a little vegan place, and I was totally content with that. I really never saw myself coming to the standards that I am now. However, the year is 2030, and if you're watching this, you're probably familiar with my scientific advancements. So, I'm choosing to share with you all through video memoir and reading a little bit of the journal that I kept when I attended school, how I got to this place, and how I feel now having accomplished what I do. When I was deciding to start Valencia, or looking into the idea, at first I thought, wow, that's a lot of money, and perhaps it wasn't the road for me. But I also realized that I didn't have to pay for it at the same time I was making the money. So I took a year and moved to Orlando, worked as a server. During that time, I was able to save up enough money because Valencia is a fairly affordable place. And I got the $5,000 that it takes to get an AA for in-state tuition. I was very happy I made that decision because it was in Valencia and talking to my advisors, where I was able to talk about what I wanted out of life. They helped me realize that I wanted to experience life fully, and also for me, that meant a heavy reliance on nature. They pointed out that it seemed that I wanted to use my naturally curious mind, and I knew that I wanted to create a positive impact in my community. Their well-trained advisors helped me realize that this meant that environmental studies was probably a good path for me. And I agree, especially now. During my SLS class, which was mandated by Valencia to take by your second semester, I realized many things. I was taught to identify what and why I felt, which wasn't a concept I was super familiar with. I knew that I had these ideas, but for the first time would I ever really have a teacher sit me down and talk me through why or what part of me wanted this for what reason. It helped me feel very secure in my path, and like I had truly, for the first time, a real path to follow. I also learned other tools for success that Valencia provided. Besides just this counseling and good staff, there was tutoring and places I could go if I was falling behind in a subject, which I might have used once or twice. It was while working on my AA that I made sure to stay in contact with my advisors, which allowed me to stick to my academic success plan that I made in SLS. I actually used that plan a lot throughout all of my academic career. However, I wouldn't have been able to stick to the plan if it weren't for the math tutors at Valencia. During SLS, I learned to rely heavily on the resources the college provided, and that rang true still probably now. In my scientific work, I still often rely on the help of colleagues and peers to review my studies. It definitely was helpful to go to the math spot then for algebra. UCF was a different challenge. Although the Direct Connect transfer program from Valencia to UCF did make it as easy as possible, as I applied within a few credits of my AA, kept in constant contact with my advisor, and they handled most of it, except for the $12,700 which it took to finish my bachelor's there. But at the same time, I did manage to work for a nonprofit campus for a bit, which made it very easy to get rid of the commute between work and school and make a work-school balanced life pretty good. Nearing my graduation at UCF, they had helped place me into an internship program with FWC, Florida Wildlife Control. UCF is known still to this day for their strong ties within their community and their great job at placing students into internships right near graduation so they can get straight into the field. I highly recommend it. I had thought that all I wanted was a bachelor's, but UCF's in-depth environmental studies program left me wanting more, and I applied to their postgraduate school. It was worth every penny of the $22,000. The knowledge I gained and the resources I had at UCF were intrinsic to the research and my development further down the line. It was due to their close partnerships with the state that I felt secure in going back to school, because I felt like my job and my education had a good connection going. It made me feel very secure in my ability to go back to work and to maintain work while I was still studying. So it made me comfortable enough in this path to chase my academic goals. Funny enough, though, even at that level of academia, I was still using tutors all the time, and all the planning skills that I first learned in SLS. Writing here about budgeting my time. That was a good worksheet. Graduating with my master's was the greatest feeling in the world. I was proud to be an alumni of UCF and Valencia, two great schools which truly focused on propelling their students forward. I got my Florida certification to work with hazardous chemicals, which put me over the top at FWC, and I received a promotion to environmental engineer. I was also really close at that time to the breakthrough in my research. I could never have done it without the support of my schools and professor, but I managed to break through in my research. I invented a new waste management system for agricultural runoff, which allowed to remove and recycle chemicals before they ever reached the Okeechobee water basin. The water quality of Florida was forever improved. And every time I go into nature for work or pleasure, I get to see the products of my work. I could not be happier. I remember first identifying all those goals back in SLS. My want to experience life to the fullest, and my want to create a positive impact. My academic goals of achieving a bachelor's. And truly, with the help of these schools, I managed to fulfill all of that. I hope recounting my path to success helps some of you find your own. Thank you.